Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Echocalypse video, and we're talking about Elemenos, and this is one of the biggest power spikes you will unlock in the game. You unlock them at level 60, and I really think they make a huge difference. So you can see me doing a couple pulls here in the background, but I'll tell you right now, they're pre-recorded. Unfortunately, they don't go well, but we'll talk about the rates a little bit later. But let's talk about like what they actually do. So essentially, they're like another piece of equipment, and it's the last piece of equipment that you'll unlock. And I think they actually make a bigger difference even than like vibration arms or chimeras. And there's a few reasons for that, okay? So let's take a look at actually where I'm at on my account right now. And my current account power is a little over 2.7 million. Took me a minute to be able to translate that because the 2765K like messed me up. But anyway, when I was level 59, I was just barely over 2.4 million. Now, obviously, a lot of things happen when you level up. You know, I could level up my equipment one more level, my units one more level, but most of that power actually came from the Elementos. So that was a huge power spike of like 300,000. And there's a few reasons why that really increases it. So if we take a look at my squad here, and then we go to the Elementos, so they're going to appear in the lower left down here. I know my face was blocking that, but they're down here in the lower left next to your deploy symbol. And you can unlock more slots eventually at level 65 and level 70. Right now, I'm just level 60, so I just have the 3 initial slots that you will have. And you can see I have 3 SRs here. There are no Rs for Elementos, but there are SRs and SSRs. We'll talk about the SSRs a little bit later. But why do they get so strong? Why do they make you so strong? So each one of these can be leveled up. So not only are you getting like a new piece of equipment, but you can level it up a bunch. If we go to boost here, you'll see there's a new type of equipment. Let's go to the Fox just because I think it's the cooler one. And then you can also, besides leveling it up, you can do breakthroughs on it with duplicates. So that's another source that can give you more power. And you can augment, which will be another source of power. And of course, you get all the new entries for it, like you do for like the library with the character bios and the weapons collection and all of that. So there's just a ton of things that increase your power level, not to mention what they actually do in the battle. So essentially you're just getting like more teammates, or you get like extra turns. Now they don't go off every single round, but you're gonna get more moves than if you didn't have them. So like say, you know, you're like a level 49 player playing a level 50 player, you know, you're not necessarily at an enormous disadvantage. But if you're like a level 59 player playing a level 60 player, you're at a huge disadvantage. Because like if you're someone without Elementos fighting Elementos, it just makes an enormous difference. So let's take a look at what some of the skills are. If we look at the info, they have an active skill and a passive skill, kind of like an actual unit would. So for the Fox, its active skill here says, after the first round ends, deal damage equal to 223% of Elementos attack to front row enemies, can be triggered 1 time each battle. So basically all the Elementos will have a specific trigger condition to go off and use their ability. But then they also have a passive, of course. So if we take a look at the passive, it says when entering the battle, additionally decrease its target's defense by 11% for 1 round. And if we go to the hair here, this is a fat bunny. It's thick. Its active skill says when the whole allied team's HP falls below 50% for the first time, restore HP equal to 234% of the Elementos attack to the front row allies. Can be triggered 1 time per battle. So again, we're seeing another specific trigger condition. It of course has its own passive. I won't go over each one for all of them. And then we have this owl. It will be triggered 1 time per battle as well, and then it has its own unique passive. But basically, you're going to get more skills going off, more like passive abilities that are just always helping you, and just more account power level overall. So there's just a huge boost in power. And something I thought was kind of cool about all these SR Elementos is that they correspond to like the 3 main characters in your initial squad of Iriri and Snezana and Sova. So that's kind of fun. Another thing is that they actually kind of correspond to units. So let's go back to the gacha. And it's funny, actually in game, it's referred to as a gachapon. A little bit of like meta there, I guess. But here is the actual gacha. And the pity is rough. So I'll hide my face again here really quick. To get to pity, you have to go all the way to 80. So that's like not the greatest. And of course you have these different kind of currency to pull for them. It's these like red and orange ticket kind of things. And then there aren't a whole lot of options in here. If we look at the rates, there's only 3 SSRs and 3 SRs, and then everything else is materials. So you can get like the fragments of them and level up materials and things like that. One that I'm really hoping to get is the Crow. And like I said, these are kind of like meant to be synergistic with certain units. So if we look at its ability, it says, when an allied case retreats, deal damage equal to 268% of the Elementos attack to the back row of enemies. Summon Phantom in the position of the first retreating allied case can be triggered once per battle. And a Phantom inherits the retreating case's attributes and 50% of HP. It can't attack, take any healing, shield, or buffs, but it can inflict 40% of damage taken. If the retreating case revives, the Phantom will attach itself to the case and take damage for that unit. When the Phantom takes fatal damage, the overkill damage will not affect the case. The Phantom can only stay in battle for 2 rounds. So it's pretty cool. It basically puts out like a shadow clone kind of thing, a decoy. It also has a passive here that at the start of the battle, it inflicts dull illusion on the front row enemy for 1 round, and that's defined as when attacking actively the target Phantom first, so it won't go for the unit right away. So pretty cool abilities. Another one that I really want are these ferrets. They kind of crack me up. They're just funny, but they fit in with a burn comp, and particularly because I'm only running Shiyu right now as my burn unit, then I'm getting a little bit of help from my Levitine sword, but I think having another burn option support would be really great. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. There are also some other limited SSRs, like we got some for some of the things like we're doing now with like the Easter egg hunt. Some of the previous events like that gave out Elemenos. So yeah, anyway, Elementos are really, really strong. If you haven't unlocked them yet, it's definitely something to look forward to. It's going to be a big power spike. You're going to gain a lot of account power, as well as just like more tricks to do in combat. Let me know which your favorite is, or which one you've found to be the most useful. And if you've managed to hit SSRs without going to pity. The other one slightly good thing is it is possible to get them in the daily free 10 times draw. So that's something that's like makes it a little easier on getting the SSRs without having to go all the way to pity, theoretically. But yeah, like I said, I gained like 300,000 power almost solely out of Elemenos, just from like all the different ways that it racks up power. So yeah, my next video will come out probably in the next couple days. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna do the roadmap yet. You know what? I'll commit to it right now. So next video will be a roadmap for new units coming out, ones that were confirmed in previous versions of the game, and I'll tell you which ones you want to save for and which ones are probably going to be must pulls. So subscribe to make sure you don't miss that video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video or stream.